Right now, live at 5, good news out of Wisconsin today as Governor Tony Evers announces another step toward reopening the Badger State. And the White House is shifting gears as the administration announces press briefings will now focus primarily on economics and not science. And later, how some northern Minnesota resorts are preparing for fishing opener and the precautions they're taking.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to CBS3 Live at 5. Here's a live look from Madison, Wisconsin, where the governor has announced some non-essential businesses will be allowed to reopen. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Anthony has the night off. More Wisconsin businesses can start operating this week. Governor Tony Evers announced he will lift restrictions on certain non-essential businesses. This allows businesses like dog groomers, repair shops, car washes, and others to open. It also means outdoor recreation rentals like boats, kayaks, and ATVs can operate. But all businesses must have no contact with customers. They must have disinfecting practices, and everything must be run by one staff member. Evers says it's a small step in the right direction.
We have to be patient, and I know that this is tough on workers and businesses and consumers alike. Everyone depends on a thriving economy. But I have faith in Wisconsinites, and I know we will get there if we continue to flatten the curve and we continue to develop testing, contact tracing, and PPE components that we need. We will start on the road back.
This latest change goes into effect at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. You can read the governor's entire order on our website. And just a reminder, the state's stay-at-home order is still in effect until May 26th. Under Minnesota's new COVID-19 testing strategy, allowing anyone with coronavirus symptoms to get tested, there's also a heavy focus on vulnerable communities. That includes members of Native American tribes and communities of color that have been disproportionately impacted by the disease. CBS3's Leanne Valdez sat down with Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan to find out how the state plans to achieve that.
Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan told me with 11 reservations across Minnesota, 2 testing kits for COVID-19 have been sent to reservations and more is needed. Lieutenant Governor Flanagan says that she and Governor Walz have been in contact with tribal leaders and communities of color to try and get the word out about COVID-19 and testing. They're using Department of Health grants, organizations led by and for communities of color, as well as local media outlets and ethnic and specialty press to make sure those messages are being delivered. Lieutenant Governor Flanagan also says that not everybody has a regular health care provider, so they're also working in partnership with community clinics. She says the governor's office is putting a lot of effort into educating all communities to ensure safety across the state.
Folks should care about this because, you know, there are people who are not symptomatic who could be spreading COVID-19, and we want to make sure that we can test as many people as possible.
Lieutenant Flanagan also says recently they brought on a director and assistant director for tribal and state relations within the governor's office recently.
All right, thanks, Leanne. We'll hear more about the state's efforts tonight on the CBS3 News at 6. The Minnesota Agriculture Commissioner says the state has lost more than half of its food processing capability, and consumers could start paying the price. COVID-19 has forced some food processing plants to shut down. The state is working with these facilities to put workers' protections in place so they can reopen. In the meantime, Agriculture Commissioner Tom Peterson says smaller plants are trying to boost their capacity. He says the food supply is stable, if more costly.
Our consumers will see some disruptions as they have, and they may see some higher prices. That it will become more pronounced with this, depending on how long we're in this situation with COVID-19.
Peterson says this is also a tough time for farmers. Some have already had to euthanize livestock like hogs and chickens. Others are slowing down their feeding so the animals aren't ready for market as quickly. The president is gearing up to make an announcement on national testing after initially canceling the day's scheduled task force briefing. Earlier, President Trump also held a conference call with the nation's governors. Skylar Henry is at the White House with more.
Tremendous progress is made.
President Trump met with industry executives at the White House.
So I look forward to hearing from each of these incredible business people who have worked so strongly with us right from the beginning.
And he's also holding a news conference to announce additional guidance on testing and reopening the country.
To provide further guidance and support to the states, today we're releasing our blueprint for state testing plans and rapid response programs.
On the financial relief front, the Paycheck Protection Program for small business owners is back online after Congress passed the multi-billion-dollar bill to help replenish its funding. Congressional Democratic leaders say they are now working on another coronavirus stimulus package.
One thing is certain, we Democrats will ask for a very large infusion of money to the states and localities.
Some Republicans are calling that a bailout for blue states. President Trump tweeted Monday, "Why should the taxpayers of America be bailing out poorly run states and cities? In all cases, Democrat run." Also adding, "I am open to discussing anything."
All right, let's take a look at COVID-19 cases in our region. First off, in Michigan, there are more than 38,000 cases with 3,400 deaths. In Minnesota, there are 3,800 cases with 286 deaths. In Wisconsin, there are more than 5,000 cases with 266 deaths. Minnesota has now surpassed Wisconsin in total number of deaths, but still has 1,200 fewer cases. We'll have more on why that is tonight at 6. But first, let's check in with Dave for a look at the weather. Dave, it's so nice to see you in person here.
You too, Kristen. Yeah, we're having a few technical difficulties with the deck equipment. So I'm in for the short term.
Good.
Maybe back on the deck by 10. We don't know. We'll figure it out as time comes across. But right now, let's take a live look at Robinson Lake near Ely, where we've been patiently waiting for ice out. And with temperatures over the weekend and in that neck of the woods getting into the 60s, it looks like the ice is out on at least the shoreline half of that lake. And if you take a look at the ditch, it's starting to get green. A little bit of rain today sure helped with that process, and that rain was much needed. We managed about a ½ inch here in the Twin Ports region. That low is leaving. Higher pressure will make us dry tonight and through tomorrow morning, but a new low off to the west will bring back another rain chance by tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at our day planner then for our Tuesday, and the day could start off partly cloudy, but then it gets a little cloudier by noon. And in the afternoon, it's a 60% rain chance here for the Duluth Superior area. Bigger chance towards Hayward, lesser chance up towards Hibbing. We'll talk about what kind of rain could come across this time in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, the race is on for the best fried fish in Northwest Wisconsin as Minnesota gets ready for its own fishing opener. City by City is next. Plus, tonight at 6, how Minnesota's stay-at-home order is impacting elective pet surgeries for shelter animals.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS 3.
The Garage, it's your space. Get a garage fit for all of your agricultural needs with our Farmer 40 by 40 garage. Store all the equipment needed to get the job done. No matter what you put in your space, trust us to build it right. Economy Garages. Built right, priced right.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Jim Pearl Construction has been awarded the title of Authorized Replacement Contractor by the Marvin Window and Door Company. This entitles us to give better pricing and longer warranties on Marvin's high-quality windows and doors. We are the only authorized replacement contractor in the Northland. This caps off our 49 years of being your professional, dependable, and honest home improvement contractor. Please call us for any of your home improvement needs.
When we all get to the other side of this crisis, we look forward to presenting our music performances, our theater productions, and our art exhibitions. Because without our audiences and our UMD houses, we're without the magic of your live reactions. That includes laughing, crying, gasping, smiling, frowning, and applauding. UMD Fine Arts can't wait to see you soon, live and in person.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering current Chevy owners OnStar Crisis Assist services and complimentary Wi-Fi data. If you need a new Chevy, interest-free financing for 84 months with deferred payments for 120 days on many of our most popular models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home where available. It's just our way of doing our part.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to live local CBS3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
Welcome back to CBS3 Live at 5. Here's a beautiful live look from Bayfield, which is now competing for first place in a statewide competition. Resorts in Minnesota are preparing for walleye opener, plus the best fish fry in Wisconsin may be closer than you think. That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. Are you looking for a place to try some good fish fry? Well, luckily, you won't have to travel far because Bayfield, Wisconsin has been selected as one of the best places in the state to spend Fish Fry Fridays. The Travel Wisconsin Fish Fry Face-Off concluded with 4 restaurants between Washburn and Bayfield making the top 20. Now they'll face off for the #1 spot. If you want to know which restaurants will be competing to be named the best, head on over to our website to see the full list. Meanwhile, in Ashland, the plan is in place for city workers to slowly begin reintegrating into the county offices as the state prepares to reopen the economy. The city hopes to bring workers back in slowly over the next 3 weeks, so they are remaining cautiously optimistic. The return will bring with it restrictions such as mandatory face masks. The plan is subject to change if the Northland sees a spike in COVID-19 cases. Heading now to Deer River, where area resorts are preparing for Minnesota's walleye opener on May 8th. The High Banks Resort in Deer River is among those resorts taking extra precautions this season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Boat valet services will still be available for the public, but dock workers will be equipped with PPE. As for the resort bars and restaurants, they will transition to taking orders exclusively by phone and will offer a food pickup window for orders. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it could be featured as we go around the Northland city by city. Still to come on Live at 5, a surge in new bakers as people find productive ways to spend their stay-at-home time.
Here's a live look at Ashland, where the bay is open, just like Robinson Lake near Ely. Is that a good sign for places like Vermilion and Big Sandy? What will the temperatures do this week? I'll show you with the 7-day coming up right after this break.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Shop online at NorthwestOutlet.com. The North Face, Columbia, Under Armour, and Keen will allow Northwest Outlet to sell their spring and summer lines up to 25% off. Normally this doesn't happen till August. Shop and save now. Up to 25% off at NorthwestOutlet.com.
Take on your to-do list. Save $40 on any AK Series double battery bundle, including the FSA 57 trimmer bundle. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Always at a local steel dealer. Today, more than ever, you need fast, reliable internet. At Mediacom, we want you to know you can count on us. Our fiber-powered 100% gigabit technology network was built for the future. We have enormous capacity and power and 99.99% network reliability. So even though these are uncertain times, we're prepared. And you can be certain we'll keep your world connected.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
1 vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
Save big on remaining 18, 19, and 20 boats at Ray's Sport and Marine.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Jim Peralt. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Much needed rain came across the region here today, more so for the Twin Ports than any other town, but every little bit will help right now. Years ago when I was the wildlife interviewer, the wildlife reporter here, I got to talk to the DNR wildland firefighting folks, and they said they need about 1/4 of an inch from a rainfall to make a dent in the fire danger. Well, we beat that by 2 here in the Twin Ports with 0.48 inches. Like I mentioned, so the rest of our area undercut that by a little bit, but another round of rain coming by tomorrow night may help solve the deficit, and hopefully we'll shake off that problem. So a 1/2 inch of rain roughly for Duluth here today is now leading to some fog, especially closer to the lake. Current temp at the airport in Duluth, it is 52 degrees. And the sky, it's mostly cloudy. Winds southeasterly 11 miles per hour, and our relative humidity 71%. The higher the relative humidity, the lower the fire danger, so that's doing a good thing for us as well. Today, just like the last several days, it's nice inland. Look at Grand Rapids right now at 66 with sunshine, 61 Ely, 70 Moose Lake, cracked the 70-degree mark, close to that in Hayward, and on the cooler side in Ironwood at 48, and it's only 52 by the lake here in the Twin Ports, and only 43 towards Silver Bay and Grand Marais, so cooler by the lake today. And it will be again tomorrow with 60s inland and 40s right by Lake Superior. Doppler map right now. The rain system from this morning is already moving off to the east and exiting our region, and now higher pressure is settling in to clear up the sky tonight and through tomorrow morning. But you see clouds on our western horizon. That's another trough of low pressure from over towards Montana that should be with us by tomorrow afternoon. It brings back a 60% chance for rain in Minnesota, 70% chance for Wisconsin and the UP, and by the time it gets out of here, well, probably on Wednesday or so, well, it looks like we're getting not that much in Minnesota, but bigger totals could be coming across for Wisconsin and Michigan. Again, that game of catch-up we were talking about, where Hayward with another 1/4 inch on top of what we received today should help indeed knock down that wildland fire danger out there. Now, temperatures this week are going to be pretty decent. Looks like spring is finally here. Overnight tonight in Minnesota, the low temps run 35 inland to maybe 40 degrees towards Aiken. In Wisconsin and Michigan, mid to upper 30s for the low temps there. Partly cloudy sky and a light and variable wind for everybody. Tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan temperatures could be as cool as 45 in Superior to as warm as 67 down towards Cable and Hayward and places like that. Now, 70% chance there for the afternoon rain. It's a 60% shot in Minnesota with lakeside temps in the 40s. Inland highs anywhere from 50 to even 60 degrees. Warmer to the north for a change here. Now, extended forecast. Rain chance Tuesday, winds down to some showers on Wednesday, 47 by the lake Tuesday, goes towards 63 by Thursday, and then the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 60 to 65 degrees, even in the Twin Ports, with sunshine, Kristen.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Dave. Well, you've likely seen it all over social media. If you haven't done it yourself already, baking. First-timers and old pros alike are turning to the kitchen for stress relief, which has also meant a run on ingredients. Nancy Chen takes us inside the baking boom.
Texas, Ina Abels has been in the kitchen every night. With the ever so popular hashtag quarantine baking, de-stressing has never looked so delectable. As hundreds of millions stop their usual routines, many of them are starting up the oven.
So this is my starter.
That includes Jeremy Conendike, a pandemic expert in Washington, D.C., who blows off steam baking sourdough.
Do you think that there's also a sense of nostalgia attached to this right now as well?
You know, it brings a whole different kind of feel and smell to your home when you've got a loaf of bread in the oven.
Loaves are rising all over the country. Yeast sales were up 400% in the last month. Google searches for banana bread recipes have spiked fourfold. In Midland, Texas, Ina Abels has been in the kitchen every night.
I've made banana bread, zucchini bread, so we've got a lot of baked goods in the house.
Whether it's cookies, cakes, or banana bread, all this baking requires plenty of ingredients. Bags of flour are flying off the shelves, with companies trying to keep up with demand. Vermont-based King Arthur Flour says this time of year is usually when production starts winding down as people start spending more time outdoors. Instead, their mill is cranking.
We experienced over the month of March probably double to triple our normal March, and we're definitely exceeding levels of baking that we would normally experience in the fourth quarter, which is the holiday baking season.
Bakers say it's not just about enjoying comfort food. It's also about having a sense of control during unpredictable times.
You make the choice of how much flour, how much water, how long do you let it rise, how many times do you stretch and fold, how long do you bake it. All of those things are under your control.
Rising dough and raising spirits at the same time.
Windows and walls couldn't hold a Carlton family back from celebrating a very special milestone today. Joyce Engel celebrated her 92nd birthday from inside her apartment at the Interfaith Care Center in Carlton. Her family held signs outside her window, decorated with some of Joyce's favorite things like trees and the color purple. Joyce's daughter says it's been almost a month and a half since she's visited her mom face to face, so throwing this birthday party meant a lot to everyone.
We wanted to make it as special as we can, seeing that we can't visit her during this lockdown. And her favorite color is purple, you can tell by the trees. And we just wanted to do anything to put a smile on her face. All the local ones are here today, and I'm very, very proud.
Joyce's daughter Penny has visited her mom through the window every day since March 13th. Still to come, we're expecting an update tonight on Duluth's dire budget situation. More on that after the break.
Always on the go, but want to keep up with the day's news? Don't worry. Now we are wherever you are. Traveling? No problem. Stream wherever, whenever with live local CBS3.
Hey everyone, Kevin Jacobson here from CBS3 Duluth.
This is Kristen Baki and Louie.
Hi everyone, this is Natalie Grant from CBS3 Weekends.
Hey, this is Tony from CBS3 Duluth.
Hi everyone, it's Emma and Betty from CBS3 Duluth.
Right now is a crazy time for everyone.
We are going through something that none of us have experienced before.
Even with all the crazy times that we are going through right now, we want you to know that you are not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. We are still connected. We are still us.
We can still laugh and smile. We can still share moments and be happy.
This is a time where we need to focus on the important stuff.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
Stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
And each other.
We are all in this together.
We're all in this together.
We are all in this together.
We are all in this together.
And we'll get through this, just like we always do.
I don't believe there's another meteorologist in this area who has the experience and years that Dave has. His experience, that's something that's really special to CBS3.
He worked his way up from janitor up to a weather guy.
He's just like this bastion of knowledge.
Get to know Dave Anderson weekday nights on live local CBS3.
I want people to tune in, and I want them to see a friend, because I'm a mother and I know how hard it can be. You're doing all these things and then you have the child and then no one talks to you about how lonely it can be. You know, who do you lean to? Who do you connect with? This segment is very important to me because I get to work, but I also get to work on my passion.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Wherever we have to go.
We've just flown along the coastline.
Whatever we have to do.
Tonight, police were throwing the first round of tear gas.
Every evening, we are focused.
This is the main highway to the hardest hit areas.
On finding and telling the truth.
How does that hamper or hurt our national security?
Even among the ashes, you can see the signs of deforestation.
And earning your trust.
You traveled the whole way with your son?
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app.
We're expecting an update tonight on Duluth's dire budget situation. Last week, Mayor Emily Larson announced the city is expecting to take a $25 million hit due to COVID-19. While she did not mention laying off city employees during that press conference, 49 city workers were laid off 2 days later. Tonight, Duluth City Administrator and other city leaders plan to update the City Council on where things stand financially. That meeting starts at 7, and we have a link where you can watch on our website. We'll also bring you the latest tonight at 10. City leaders explained why they laid off those 49 employees instead of furloughing them. City Administrator Noah Schuckman says furloughs were not an option due to AFSCME's contract with the city of Duluth. Schuckman says the city chose to lay off the employees after May 1st, so their health insurance continues through May. He estimated the layoffs could last at least 2 months. City leaders say they're talking with AFSCME about possible contract changes. With 25 library technicians among those city employees laid off, many residents have been emailing the City Council with questions about library programming. City reps say the curbside pickup service is still running. That's out of the downtown location. All other branches are closed. The library is also offering an e-card system. If your essential travel takes you to Canal Park, there's a major construction project you need to know about. Mndot's Lake Avenue Bridge reconstruction started today. You'll be able to get to Canal Park during the project. During the first phase, you'll only be able to take the I-35 northbound ramp. The southbound exit into Canal Park will be closed. The project is expected to last until late August. We have a full list of the closures on our website. And just a reminder, the Lake Avenue and Superior Street intersection is also closed for the Superior Street reconstruction project. You can also expect some noise in the Northland sky tonight. Today through Friday, the Duluth-based 148th Fighter Wing will be training at night. You can expect to hear F-16s taking off and landing until 11 p.m.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, 19 states loosen restrictions. Is America ready for a new normal? And what are the health experts saying? Plus, in the last few weeks, we've seen dramatic pictures of people lining up for food, many for the first time in their lives. So why was produce left to rot at America's farms and warehouses instead of going to food banks around the country? And we end tonight with a really sweet story about how one couple is celebrating their love story over half a century in the making. That's all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
I'm Tom Tiffany. We have a special election coming up on May 12th, and while I'd prefer to shake your hand and ask for your vote, that'll have to wait. A lot has changed, but not my message. I'm a farm boy from rural Wisconsin, proud father of 3 daughters, a small businessman, and a proven citizen legislator. In Congress, I'll stand with President Trump to get people back to work and America up on her feet. I'm Tom Tiffany, and I approve this message.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS3 News with Kristen Vaki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
1 vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
I am most excited about getting to really know the viewers in the Northland and getting to show my personality too and letting the Northland kind of get to know me. I'm a very energetic person. I'm always at 100 and I'm always excited to be able to tell stories and being able to have a little bit of fun with it too. And I think that's really, really important on a morning show as well because you need that energy in the morning to wake you up.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to live local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
Welcome back to CBS 3 Live at 5. Here's a live look from Lake Avenue as we enter the week. Let's take a quick look at some of the top stories from 5 and a quick look at what's coming up at 6. With testing for all now in place in Minnesota, there's also a heavy focus on vulnerable communities, including members of Native American tribes and communities of color that have been disproportionately impacted by the disease. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan says Minnesota needs to strongly focus on vulnerable communities when it comes to COVID-19 testing and response. Flanagan says she and Governor Walz have been in contact with tribal leaders and communities of color to get the word out about COVID-19 testing. More Wisconsin businesses can start operating this week. Governor Tony Evers announced he will lift restrictions on certain non-essential businesses. This allows businesses like dog groomers, repair shops, car washes, and others to open. It also means outdoor recreational rentals like boats, kayaks, and ATVs can operate, but all businesses must have no contact with customers, have disinfecting practices, and everything must be run by one staff member. Evers says it's a small step in the right direction. And tonight at 6, Animal Allies here in Duluth says the state's ban on elective pet surgeries to conserve medical equipment and PPE has made an impact on their ability to shelter animals finding a home. More on that at 6. That's your news at 5.